Ina thought she wanted to have this crazy career in nuclear energy in the White House, went to school for it, spent all this time in it, realized I'm miserable, I hate this. She ends up taking a chance, buys a specialty food store, and becomes Barefoot Contessa. Martha Stewart, she literally went to prison and came back stronger. Meghan Markle's first marriage ended in her divorce, and her second marriage, it could be good or bad. It's really up in the air. Feeling like you're not where you want to be by a certain age, the timeline of your life, career, feeling like if things aren't opening up for you, like whatever it could be. This is the cheesiest thing I could possibly ever say. But sometimes it feels like your life is falling apart when it is only coming together. There's this whole thing of like being married by 30. Like I don't feel that pressure really at all. From the second that we started dating to the day we broke up, I had the biggest hit of anxiety, the O kind. I used to have a clothing brand before I had a friend of mine, and that was a business I started with a friend. We just wanted different things. I'm so grateful for the timeline of my life that I thought I was gonna have that didn't work out, because seriously, thank God. Hi, house guest. Welcome back to the show. I, Kenzie Elizabeth, am the most Southern girl in the world. If only you guys could see what I was wearing. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you can't see. But if you're listening on audio, I'll give you guys a little picture, okay? Brown boots, new Tacovas I just got. I think probably my 20th pair. Denim skirt. Pearl earrings, not real, of course, from Amazon. I would like a pair of real ones though. And then the top is really what's giving Southern belle, sorority sister, Lily Pulitzer. It's not giving Lily Pulitzer. It's a stunning blue blouse that I got, okay? Big bow, puffy. There's just something about it. I've never felt more Southern in my life. I'm kind of obsessed with it, obsessed. I need to have some sweet tea next to me. I need John Daly, actually, is what I need. An Arnold Palmer that's spiked. That's what a John Daly is. One time, guys, this is really recent. I was at my house and I was making some drinks to the pool, and I love an Arnold Palmer. If you guys are unfamiliar, it's iced tea with, I put sweet tea and everything, but it's tea with lemonade, okay? Best drink ever. I thought to myself that morning, why don't I put vodka in that? I'm just so confused why I haven't been putting vodka in this. So I make a TikTok of I know that everyone does this, but this is obviously this drink of the summer. And everyone's like, bitch, that's a John Daly. And I was like, oh, well, no one told me that. And I thought I don't think I was inventing the drink. I just was it's in, when it's oh, Aperol Spritz, drink of the summer. That is more of what I meant by that. But now everyone thinks that I'm an idiot because I literally just didn't know it was called a John Daly, which is kind of crazy because I know things, you know what I mean? So anyway, all that to say, it would be nice to have a John Daly in hand. This episode I think is going to be hopefully very helpful. It was actually very helpful to me. I think all the time about how I'm so much more grateful for the things that didn't work out in my life than the things that did. I'm of course grateful for the things that worked out, but the things that I wanted, that I thought I wanted, that ended up not working out, ended up being the absolute best thing to happen to me. Of course, I'm grateful for the things that have worked out, but the things that I thought I really wanted that I didn't end up getting, or the failures that I've had, or just the breakups or whatever it might be, have ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. And I think it's really important. So now when I'm, facing failure or rejection, or something isn't working out for me, I'm in a rut or whatever it might be, I always try to think back to the things that I thought I wanted that ended up being the best thing ever that I didn't get. You know what I mean? So if you guys are listening to this and maybe you're going through a breakup or you're just sad, down in the dumps, we talked about that in last week's episode, feeling like you're not where you want to be by a certain age, the timeline of your life, career, feeling like if things aren't opening up for you, whatever it could be of things not working out for you, because friendly reminder that that happens to everyone every single day. And unfortunately it is one of those things, a breakup where you're I am the only girl in the world that has ever experienced heartbreak. No one understands it. Yeah, maybe you guys have gone through a breakup, but you haven't gone through this heartbreak, because we're so unbelievably delusional that we really think that it's just us. This episode's going to be very helpful to you. I'm going to share a bunch of failures that I've had, a bunch of things that I thought I wanted that thank God didn't work out. And then I'm also going to be giving examples of other people. And I hope it just brings you comfort. It reminds me, this is giving the energy of the episode. I've done two, a part 1 and a part 2, of people who achieved success, quote, later in life, aka 40 plus, which obviously 40 plus is not later in life, but to really find their footing and stuff at 40 when you feel like you need to do it at 20. It's a very, very helpful comfort listen. So I would also recommend that episode going back. That's just kind of a staple here at House Guest, that one. I'm always talking about that. I love someone who goes to medical school at 65. Like, I just think it's so cool. Like, you're never stuck where you're at. You can evolve and have so many different chapters of your life. And I think that's a very beautiful thing that we sometimes forget because we get so zoned into like our everyday. I always think when it comes to like even a breakup, your day-to-day when you're in this bubble, it feels like that is catastrophic and it's the only thing that's ever gonna happen. You're never gonna find someone, you're never gonna do anything. And then you go on like a weekend trip and then you're reminded that like, oh, there's a billion other things happening in life. And like, this is not the only thing. And you zoom out and you see the bigger picture and it doesn't feel so big. I think we have an issue with zooming out. Like, we're so zoomed in, if you will, that we can't see outside of ourselves and our problems to see that the world is so big and like there's better things coming for you. Anyway, all that to say, I'm so much more grateful for the things in life that didn't work out for me than the things that did work out for me because it creates resilience. It creates grit. It creates a good story. It's exposure therapy. Like, these are all things that are just so important. Like, you know, this isn't funny. I'm really anti-bullying, but like, I do think it's like important in life to like get a little bit bullied at a certain point. Like, you know, the people who are so coddled that they can't survive in the real world because like no one's ever been mean to them and no one's ever done that. Like, I don't want unnecessary bullying, but I do think there is a level of like adversity a person needs to go through to like be a real human being. Like, think about the person that you know, and they do exist. I know it's like, oh, everyone has problems, whatever. There are always the one-off people that come from, you know, and everyone has problems, of course. But you know, the people that like I'm not really sure that you've ever had a problem, you know, like they're just like not real people. Like, you can't connect to them. You can't relate to them. Like, they just like, I feel like they're only living in like, I mean, good for them, like this bubble of life that like you're not experiencing things to like the fullness of their capacity, if you will. I don't know if I'm like becoming a poet or what, but like that's what it feels like right now. I think also this is like, speaking of being a poet, this is the cheesiest thing I could possibly ever say, but sometimes it feels like your life is falling apart when it is only coming together, okay? I will get off my Lucas Scott soapbox here, but it is really, really true. Like, I can look back at breakups that I've had, at friendship endings that I've had, at moves or timelines or just opportunities that I thought I was going to get that I didn't. And thank God I didn't get them. And that ended up leading me to like the next best thing for me, which like was so much better. I wrote down a list of 8 things that didn't work out for me that ended up being the best thing ever for me. Number 1, and this is no slight to any of my ex-boyfriends, but or like situationships, every relationship so far, every single one of them. And like, while there are people that I look back on, a lot of them I'm like so grateful for. I'm like, oh, they were great, just like wasn't right. And you know, X, Y, and Z. It's really no slight to them. It's just we were not the right match for each other. And when you were in the wrong relationship, there's really no feeling that's more isolating. And there's this like constant dread and like level of anxiety. I remember I was dating this one guy that I really liked and we were having like some of the honestly genuinely the most fun couple of months of my life. Like, they were so fun. But he, from the second that we started dating to the day we broke up, I had the biggest like hit of anxiety for months. And it was like a steady stream in my body. And I like hesitate to share that because I think a lot of the time, like, there is such thing as like relationship anxiety. Like, I do think that I had like an anxious attachment theory. So I would always say like, no, I'm just anxiously attached. Like, this is me. I need to work through this. I need to do this, X, Y, and Z. But I think deep down I did know it wasn't right. And the day we broke up, anxiety was gone. And it ended up being amazing. Like, we, especially now, like, you look back and it's like, I can so see how we were just so not right for each other. And that's in no way, shape, or form is like some like negative or like some sort of slight towards him. Like, I wouldn't want him to be with me either. Like, I'm not the right fit for him. You know what I mean? And I feel that way about every single relationship that I've been in. I'm grateful that like, not all of them, most of them happened, but now that we're broken up, it's so much easier said than done, but like you just end up like finding your way, things get better. And this is like the most cliche like answer of all of these, but I think it's just probably the most relatable and the most like the easiest one to give some sort of like paint some sort of picture. But every single guy that I thought I wanted to be with that I'm not with now, I'm so grateful that we're not with. Like, there's not a single ex-boyfriend in my life that I think about, that I would like want to be with, that I like even, like, you don't even like yearn for. Like, to the people who are going through like a really devastating breakup where you're like, I'm so heartbroken, I can't breathe, I can't eat, I can't sleep without them. Like, there will come a day where you don't think about them. And then when you do think about them, it's like, oh, sweet, cute memory. But like, that's it. Like, there's not emotions that are charged there. I keep seeing all the TikToks that's like, they like will post a selfie, like a mirror photo of like the 65-year-old woman. And they're like, girls, I'm here to tell you it doesn't get better. I still like, it's obviously a joke. It's like, I'm still thinking about my ex from 15. Like, there's people that I look back at in a way that is like, oh, that was so sweet. Or like, that was like out of a movie and that was so amazing. But I'm not looking back at that wanting to be with them or like yearning to be with them at all. And I would say even like bigger breakups, like more, I don't want to say devastating, but like bigger heartbreaks that I was like, oh my God, how will I ever, like, this is really where I saw my life going. Like those ended up being genuinely the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because I got to fix the things that I needed to from that relationship and also find my way and my footing and learn more about myself and like where I want to go and who I want to be and like more of who I want to be with. Like it really did nothing but good, truly. Like, of course, there's, you know, some baggage and stuff. Like you've got some like problems, of course, don't get me wrong. But there is no relationship, even the ones that I was so devastated, heartbroken, thought my life, the world was ending, my life was over, whatever. There's not a single one of them that I even think about to this day. Like you will get past it, and you will more than get past it. You will be so glad that it's over and that you are where you are at, largely due to that breakup. There's so many amazing things that came from the breakup and not being with that person anymore, and things that I've learned, like any of these people, there's like 10 of them that I'm thinking of, like literally all of them. There is something amazing that came out of that breakup, and I'm so grateful. And next thing I would say is what I thought I wanted my life to be. And there's so many different, like you guys know me in my life phases. There's so many different eras that I've had. I don't look back at that as like any sort of negative thing. I think it's good. Like I think I've really sought out the world and tried to see like what life I wanted to live and who I wanted to be, and like really just lived it to the fullest in a lot of areas. But there's so many, not so many, but there's just like ways that I saw my future going and like timelines that I thought I wanted to have in my life, or like groups of people that I thought I wanted to be with in my life, or the ways that I just wanted to live my life, like spiritually or whatever it might be. And I'm so grateful that that isn't where my life ended up going. And it's what I thought I wanted. It's the timeline that I thought I wanted. And I was so stubborn too. Like I remember going into my therapist's office and being like, well, no, like I know that this is what my life needs to be. Like I have this like deep inner knowing, and I know for a fact that like this is where I'm gonna go. And I didn't really give myself room for a long time to like dream of other things, or to think like, you know, maybe that isn't actually the best case scenario, or maybe I should be open-minded to different ways that my life could work out or different possibilities. I was so tunnel visioned for so long on exactly what I thought my life was going to be, exactly who I was going to be, where I was going to be, who I was going to be with, the organizations that I was going to be affiliated with, like all that stuff. I was like, no, this is it. This is who I need to be. This is what these people are telling me I need to be. I was very young and impressionable. And I'm so glad that I'm not in those situations anymore. And I look back at a lot of the people and I'm like sad for them, like that, because I'm like, that is just, now I'm like so grateful that I'm out of it. I'm like, there's a better life outside of, like, I just am sad, and maybe that's like perfect and like what they want, and that's amazing. Like I think, you know, everyone's just like so different at the end of the day, but I'm so grateful for the timeline of my life that I thought I was gonna have that didn't work out, because seriously, thank God. And if this brings you any comfort, there's so many moments that I will go through in life that will happen. They could be like catastrophic, bad, like fun, whatever. And I'll think like, I could have never survived this or done this or been here had I not left like certain situations and like let go of like the idea of this like certain timeline that I needed to have on my life. There's a podcast episode I recorded with Topsy, who's like one of my favorite guests ever. And it's all about like releasing the idea of timelines in your life. And I think that that is such an important lesson to listen to in life, especially in your 20s, because especially in the South, you know, as I'm Southern Kenzie Elizabeth today, like there's this whole thing of like being married by 30. I don't feel that pressure really at all. Like, I mean, maybe I will at different times, but like, I don't feel that. And I think at different points in my life, I was like, well, no, I want to be doing this by this age and this by this age. And it's just wasted energy in your brain, truly. So number one, every relationship I've ever had. Number two, what I thought my life would be. Number three, the timeline that I thought my life would be on. Number four, okay, this is a specific one, but this podcast, you guys might not know the story. I was with different management in the past, and we were shopping around this show that, looking back on, thank God we didn't end up like selling. It was going to be like a digital thing. I was meeting with a bunch of people. It was very much so happening. We were in really crazy meetings with big people. We were in writing rooms with people. Like one of them literally was like a writer on Friends. Like it was insane. Like it was actually the craziest thing ever. And this was like obviously years later, and like who knows if they would have been, but that was the team that they were like wanting to get on this show. And it was going to be like an interview show, but it would have just been like, now in the climate that we're at, thank God it didn't happen. It was really going to be like bringing people around with like different opinions and all this stuff. Literally, thank God. Thank God. Because I would not have been able to handle that in this day and age. Anyway, we were really excited about it. It was something we were working on for quite a long time, and things were really moving. And at the end, it basically just ended up kind of falling apart. And I had a bad feeling about it at the end. And then I ended up like going to the college that I went to, which is another thing that would have never been something that I expected to do. And like, while it was a very crazy experience, and I don't know if I'd recommend it for everyone, they wouldn't even recommend it for everyone. It's a very unique, specific experience. It wasn't just like butterflies and rainbows. I am really grateful that I ended up going there. I learned so much and I made like my best friends ever. I wouldn't have ended up doing that. And also, that show ended up turning into this podcast because I ended up saying like, I think I just want to like kind of steer it into a different direction and do more of an actual podcast. And then I was able to launch with Dear Media in like the very early days, and it all worked out so well. And the podcast is like my favorite thing in the world, and it all ended up working out so well. And now like we have house guests, and I have all my house guests listening this week. Next one, also, I really wanted to hit like 1 million subscribers when I moved to LA. And like, of course, I'm like not even near 1 million subscribers. And that was something that I was like really set on. And it was a goal that I put a lot of pressure on myself for. And I just gave up because like it was just like, I think I just gave up because it wasn't happening. And now I look back and I'm really grateful that that didn't happen because one, I don't think it would have been good for me at that age. And two, it allowed me to like be a little bit more normal. There's a lot of situations that I'm in now where I'm like, I think some people like at a certain age, like lost the sense of like being able to be like a normal human being. When you get like a certain amount of success at a certain age, of course you do, And like, I wouldn't give up my life and like the normal people that I'm friends with in the normal situations and like the normal environments that I've been in because I was living a normal life. I wasn't just, not that, I don't mean that these people are like so famous and crazy. I don't mean it like that. I mean like when you're in those environments, it obviously like your life is just very different. You're going to these things 24/7. I think it was just good for me personally at that age. And I really appreciate the aspect of my life where I was still focusing on like normal friends and normal situations because who's to say like what it would have been like. And also I don't think I really knew myself well enough or like really knew where I wanted my career to go at that point. And I think I would have like pigeonholed myself into just like a different community of people. And now I'm really grateful for like Slow and Steady Wins the Race because I feel like it's been able to allow me to have a lot of longevity online. I don't know if I would have the longevity that I've had if I blew up and hit like 1 million subscribers because I don't know if I would have gained the right audience. And I think maybe I would have burnt out. And I don't think it would have been good for me. I think Slow and Steady Wins the Race has been an amazing thing. And there is such a thing as the kiss of death with business where if something goes viral or you hit something, you have too much success and you don't have like the systems in place, it can crush you. And while maybe I would have pivoted and done so well and whatever, and it would have been amazing. Maybe I'm just saying this because I didn't hit it. I am grateful for like where I'm at career-wise now. And I think that like being at the pace that I was at and at the like level that I was at, I've been able to like do all these other things and lean into them and like didn't make so many big decisions so young. I think it allowed me to like have slowness with my career that then built longevity and consistency, which I think has been like an amazing thing. In Dallas, I really wanted this first house. When I was house shopping, I was living in the townhouse and I was house shopping and I'm like, I really need a home. I found this place. I fell in love with it. I just was walking by it and I toured it that day and I put in an offer kind of just by chance. And I was devastated. I got beat out by a cash offer, of course. I was so sad and so devastated. I didn't want to tour any other houses. I was like, nope, it's it. I'm not moving. This is awful. I waited a full month before my realtor was like, all right, like we should go just look. So I went and looked that day, toured like 7 houses, hated them all. The 8th one, the one that she told me I would like the best, and I said, no, I won't, is the house that I'm in now. And I'm so grateful because genuinely I was flying home from London a month or two before this, and I sat down and I wrote out my house, my dream house, every single thing that I wanted. I might as well have drawn the actual floor plan to the house that I'm in now. And the house that I originally put the offer in, it was really close, but it wasn't exactly that. And the neighborhood that I'm in now is so much cooler and better and just like perfect and literally amazing. And I just like love where I live. And I would not have that if I would have gotten the first thing that like didn't work out for me. They kept saying to me, look, you're going to be happy one day because you will be so happy that you're in the house that you end up getting versus this one. And I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. This is the house of my dreams. You don't get me. I turned like to a 16-year-old like angsty teenager who knows literally nothing. But that's like a materialistic one, of course. And like, I know a kind of like more out of touch one, but like, that's just an example of something that like worked out so much better. And now my house is amazing. Like all I care about is entertaining and hosting. And it is the house for entertaining and hosting. It's so incredible. And it's the weirdest floor plan. It's not something that they would build now. It's not something that would ever even be popular now. And it's perfect for me. I literally could not have had a more perfect situation. The O Kind, I used to have a clothing brand before I had a friend of mine. And that was a business I started with a friend. It was a friend from college. We had like interned together, done all this stuff. She's great. We just like wanted different things. And it was great. Like I'm so proud of what we did with the O Kind. Like it's so hard to even start a business. But I think at the end of the day, we just wanted to go in like two different directions. And it was my fault. Like I should have built a brand based off of the brand like Kenzie Elizabeth that I built in the past decade leading up to that. And I needed to have like gone off and done something with that. There's so many things that I should have done differently 100% in that situation of like, not like how it was handled necessarily. Like it was handled great. It was great, amazing. But just like beforehand, I would have gone back and like checked myself on so many different things. And then I think I would just, you just don't know what you don't know. And it was something that I needed to like experience and go through to then end up with the right business and brand. So when we ended up deciding, like we both just want two different things and like neither one of us wanted to hold the other person back. Like it was very loving, it was very kind, it was like handled amazingly, like genuinely she's great. But it was one of those things where I don't want to say it failed because it did do well. It really wasn't that it failed, but it was one of those things that I could have looked at as a failure of like, oh, we're closing this business. Like this is embarrassing. Everyone's going to think it was awful and like blah, blah, blah. And to me, instead, I was like, actually, I'm so proud of myself that I was able to be like, this isn't working for me. And my business partner, same thing for her as well. But to recognize that like that wasn't really the business and the brand that I wanted to build, and to then go and like build something else that has been literally my dream brand. We've launched on Anthropologie. There's so many amazing things happening. Like I love the products that we're doing. Like it's something that like really makes me like come alive. And that would have never happened had I not done that brand with her. I mean, it would have happened at a certain point, but because I did that, it like solidified in me exactly what I knew I should have been doing all along. And from that point, I was able to like go full force with a friend of mine, and it was incredible. So I think that's another thing. I'm like, don't be afraid of like quote failure, even though I personally wouldn't even look at that as a failure. And I don't think that you should be looking at so many of your things as failures, but just for like an easier way to say this, don't be afraid of failure. I think the only way you can fail is like not try. Like I think it's so much better and so much cooler and so much more like admirable to really like give it a shot and do everything you can and then pivot. If it doesn't work, that's okay. Like you're not out. There's so many people who have launched 7 businesses and their 8th one was like their real one that like hit home. So that was a huge thing. The last thing, number 8 on the list, I would say friendships. I'm someone who like doesn't love a lot of change in my relationships. And if I'm friends with you, like I pretty much am like, yeah, we'll be friends forever. And that's just kind of it. And I think just with grief in general, like a lot of your relationships change. Everything about you changes. Your friendships are going to change. Your relationships change. Of course, like that's to be expected. And I think just in anything in life, when it comes to friendships, I'm so grateful for all the people that I've been friends with. And it's just natural that you're going to drift away from certain groups or move along, especially in your 20s. Like you're changing so much. For me, I've moved so much. You grow up so much. Like I have a hard time with it because I've had so many of the same friends since I was like 8 years old. And those are the people that I talk to all the time. I don't do well with change in relationships at all. I really internalize so much and make things personal. I'm by no means like a perfect friend at all, but like I really try to be like the best friend that I can be. And that's just been something I've had to learn is like you can't be everything for everyone. And just the friendships that have like changed and like we've grown apart or evolved or had a falling out or whatever it is, like that's just part of life. And it's okay. And I think it's a good thing because in the long run, it opens up areas in your life and their life for a better suited friend or partner to come into their life. You know, it's not like, oh, I hate them, they suck, fuck those friends, they're the worst. It's just recognizing like I don't think that we're in a position, like a place where like our friendship like really makes sense. And this is good for you to have open space and it's good for me to have open space and like love you from afar. Maybe something will happen down the line. You know what I mean? So anyway, even friendship falling outs or breakups, I'm so grateful for because in the long run, it led me to something better. So I did a little bit of research, guys, for my house guest, and we're going to go through people that have had things not work out for them and have been better for it. Number one, we will be giving space for the house guest Holy Trinity, which is obviously Dolly Parton, Martha Stewart, and Ina Garten. Okay, let's start with Ina. Ina was a nuclear energy policy analyst. I can't even say that analyst in the White House, and impulsively bought a specialty food store and didn't know what she was doing for years. She made so many mistakes, but had her original career worked out, there would be no Barefoot Contessa. Now you need to think about this. She went to school for this. She had worked so hard. If you've read her memoir or listened to our memoir episode on the Ina Garten episode, you need to. It's like me and Harrison Wallace in wigs. It's the most incredible thing ever. We talk a lot about things in her life that didn't work out that actually led her to something better. Ina thought she wanted to have this crazy career in nuclear energy in the White House, went to school for it, spent all this time in it, realized I'm miserable, I hate this, I don't want to do it, this isn't the idea of my life that I wanted. She ends up taking a chance, buys a specialty food store, it becomes Barefoot Contessa. And look at her now. Martha Stewart, she literally went to prison and came back stronger. Okay, guys, like there's so many things in Martha Stewart's life. She gets divorced. She goes through a heartbreak. She never marries again. She had so many things that she overcame, especially as a woman. She started on Wall Street, realized this isn't what I want to do, left Wall Street, moves to Connecticut, starts her catering business, releases her first book at 41, and then the Martha Stewart empire was born. Dolly Parton, in her early days, she was the girl singer on the Porter Wagner show. They were a duo. She wanted to go solo. He didn't want her to go solo. She ends up leaving anyway. She writes the hit song, I Will Always Love You, that launched her into true stardom. That relationship was very tumultuous. She followed what she wanted to do and she knew it. And there was a lot of stuff where she could have been like, you know what? I thought I wanted to be in this duo. I thought I wanted to do this. I had this whole idea. And it's not what I wanted, and I changed and evolved. And I think Dolly Parton is like the queen of evolving. She's someone who's like very true to herself at her core, but she is the queen of evolving. Oprah got fired from her first TV show. She was told she was unfit for TV. That firing pushed her to pursue a different role that ultimately leads to the Oprah Winfrey Show, Oprah Winfrey Network, Oprah Winfrey everything. She's a billionaire. She could have stayed in that first newsroom, or even worse, she could have listened to them saying she's not fit for TV and like given up, but now she's Oprah Winfrey. Jennifer Aniston almost quit acting. She was working as a waitress and nearly gave up, and then she got cast in Friends. The Beatles were rejected by their record label, which is insane. The record label said that guitar groups are on their way out to the Beatles. That rejection forced them to find a better fit, and the rest is like, it literally became history. Mindy Kaling was not cast in SNL. She auditioned for SNL and didn't get it, which crushed her, but she ended up staying with The Office that allowed her to write, produce, and build her own empire with the Mindy Project. She later said it was the best no she ever got. Sandra Oh didn't get the roles that she auditioned for. Sandra lost out on high-profile roles for years, but not getting stereotypical on surface-level parts opened the door for complex characters like Christina Yang and Eve from Killing Eve, which defined her career, which is really incredible because there is such a thing as typecast. I also think too, I remember hearing this in choir as a kid and thinking like this is such a good life lesson, but I remember our choir director saying, you know, sometimes you don't get the part and it's not because you weren't the most talented and it's not because you're not talented in general, it's because we're just simply looking for something else and something to fit a very specific thing. It's not so personal, it's not that you're not good, it's just that we are looking, like it could be a soprano, we're looking for an alto, like you just never know. And I feel like that a lot with like different opportunities. Lizzo's band literally broke up, which then led her to doing her solo career. Meghan Markle's first marriage ended in her divorce, and her second marriage, you know, it could be good or bad. It's really up in the air. Love Meghan Markle. Seriously, sending love to that woman. But her first marriage ended in a divorce, which ended up freeing her to move to the UK, fall in love with the prince, and rewriting her own story on her own terms, you know? She's also now doing things that just like aligns with her values. I mean, even like leaving the royal family, like all that stuff. Like she had some bumps in the road. Lady Gaga, she was dropped by Def Jam Records. She was signed young and then abruptly dropped. She could have quit. Instead, she went underground, found her vision, and came back with the fame and completely with her own. I mean, she obviously, you guys know, she's literally Lady Gaga. I just think that this episode serves as a really good reminder that sometimes not getting what you want is the best thing that could possibly happen to you, and it will lead you to something better. If you need to go back and listen to this episode, even monthly, maybe weekly, and just be reminded of the things in their life that didn't go their way, or the things in my life that haven't gone my way, that we're now grateful for, that ended up leading them to a better thing, please, please, please Literally, by all means. There's things in my life that are not currently working out that I'm just like always thinking, you know, this is so annoying. I want X, Y, and Z, and I want it now. And I look back at these things almost as like markers in my life to remind myself that like I know one day I will be grateful that like what I'm not getting in this exact moment will end up having been good for me. Anyway, I love my house guest. I love y'all so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you're feeling fabulous. Hope you're feeling stunning. I hope you're having a great, great, great week. And I will be back next Thursday. I hope you guys are enjoying our book club read, Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings. Get to reading, y'all. Love you guys, and I will talk to you in my next episode.